Just over the ridge there on the ridge line is an outpost of the US military. Up until Sunday, US Special Forces were there at that outpost and at many others across this region alongside Kurdish fighters, and they were there to counter the threat from the Islamic State. But the decision on Sunday night, following a phone call with between President Erdogan and President Trump, meant that Mr. Trump moved his soldiers out of the way, intentionally or otherwise. That has allowed the Turkish to do what they've wanted to do for years, which is to remove what they see as a terrorist element over the border in Syria. It's worth stressing that the Turkish believe, like the rest of the Western world believe, that ISIS is a terrorist threat, no question there. The difference is that the Turkish also believe that the Kurdish militia are also a terrorist threat. And that is historic. It's because the militia in northern Syria are aligned to a Kurdish rebel group, the PKK, here in this region in Turkey. So that is why Mr. Erdogan says he wants to remove them from the area just over the border. He's been speaking in Parliament in the last few hours. I think you just mentioned a couple of the numbers. He says that 109 fighters, militants, he calls them, have been killed as a consequence of the strikes which began at 4 o'clock local time yesterday afternoon. And he said there are other fighters who have been injured and who have surrendered. To add to the complexity of this, we now know that there are other rebel elements who are aligned to Turkey but not to the Kurdish over the border, who are getting involved too. This all is precisely what Western countries warned would happen, a quagmire made all the worse by a unilateral decision by Turkey to enter Syria.